first time
We are
All right,
live,
we're
brother.
on. We are on, I think.
We are.
Are we?
Yeah, it gave the countdown. You were just looking down.
I don't see it though. Oh, we are. I lied. Okay, we're good.
All right.
Welcome to Living by Oak Values, guys. So this is the second to last week of 2025, and today I have AJ with me. Last week, AJ Bulldog. Sorry, last week was a very shaky week for me. So I'm going to touch on last week a little bit, which is what are you building now? And then we're going to the majority of the episode. We'll be moving forward into living oak values in real life and where the oak values started and where they have got us. And got AJ on to talk about how he discovered his values through the oak values and where they have taken him through his life thus far. And he is part of a lot of the stuff we do. He's part of the men's group. What else have you done? That's it, really. Just the men's group, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. So what are you building now? So last week, like I said, was rough, but every man needs to know what he's building. You can't just shoot off the hip, or shoot from the hip. And I do that a lot with a lot of things, but not planning my future. Especially with Northman Coaching, the podcast, everything that's going on. I have a plan for everything, and it is growing. And every year there's been a plan, and we're growing and growing. And speaking of plans, I did release an ebook this year, and it is called The First 30 Days, and you can download it now. I did have a class coming up on January 10th to go over that, but it is sold out, so I blocked it off. But you still get that book, and I believe we set up a waiting list for the next class, which will come at some point. I can't nail that date down as we speak. Anyway, AJ, is there anything that you have been building this year in your life?
Yeah. So I'd say I started off by just building with accountability. That was my starting building block, most of all, and something that comes up a lot. I'd say it's a big topic of conversation, right? We do discuss it a lot with a lot of men with the men's group. Taking a look at your life and finding where your accountability lies. It's kind of the first step to rebuilding yourself. After a separation, during a divorce, going through any kind of rough time, right? So you got to find where your wrongs lie in that area, so that you can build off of those places.
Okay.
I was obviously, as you know, but I'm sure some people don't know watching, I was injured originally in an industrial accident, which was of no fault of mine. I've thought it about a million times. Was there anything I could have done different? And there's not a thing in the world I could have done different to have changed that accident. But that took me down a road of blame and just anger and pain constantly. And I took it out on everybody in my life. And there was also, a lot of wrongs on other behalfs too, but I expected a lot. And I had to find my own accountability in those situations, because it wasn't just my marriage that I lost there. It was my marriage, my children, everybody walked away from me at once. So yeah, that was my beginning building block. And like I said, that's kind of something that we seem to come up with a lot in conversation with most men.
So based on that, so when I say every man needs a plan, so what are you building for you for right now, for tomorrow, for 2026? What are you building? Do you have an actual plan for that, or are you?
Yeah, absolutely. So for 2026, my plan is just to work on my integrity. I want everything that comes out of my mouth to just have conviction, obviously honesty, but everything, I just want it to be based in facts, right? So I want the information that I'm giving to always come out factual, and with conviction. Um, the other big thing is my faith. So
Hmm.
my faith in God, my spirituality, and working with God and walking with God. It's been a great part of my journey, um, reconnecting with God. So I'm kind of at a place with all the things that I've gone through over the last year and everything that I've received from you and Rob and our men's group, all of the coaching, and I want to work to do the same. I want to be able to help out my fellow brothers too, my fellow men, in the same way that you and Rob have helped me in so many ways.
Excellent. So I'm gonna take a step back and ask you a question that might hit you sideways a little bit. So you said
All
that
right.
you're building to make every word come out of your mouth with integrity and honesty.
Yeah.
Is it not doing that right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It
I was making
is.
sure that we're having a
No.
conversation. You're not blowing me
Yeah.
up here.
No. Blowing smoke
So
up here.
um you have how many sons do you have? Like 32? No, three?
Yeah,
Three?
getting
Three.
close. So yeah, I have five boys.
Five
I
boys.
have five
So
boys, and then I have my two basically adopted boys too.
so how do you explain to them that they need a plan to build a future? They can't because a lot of kids these days, boys, girls, men, women, what do you want to call them? They just hope they
Yeah,
assume, and I don't know if it's a cross between hope and entitlement, but they're just waiting for that awesome job to land in their lap, that
something to
awesome
fall. Yep.
wife, that awesome opportunity, where they
Yep.
don't really want to go out and work for it,
Yep.
but because they think they went or they did really well in school, it should land right here.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do
So
you
I mean,
tell
I
your
I've
kids?
got I've got my youngest, which I stay on very much, and I think he's always saw my hard work. So I think ever since he was old enough to understand it, he's gotten to watch it, and I've always stayed hard on him of understanding that anything that's worth having in life takes
Hmm.
real hard work, real hard work. And sorry
Heard
about
that.
that, brother. Yeah, that the only one person that can break through my phone, of course, breaks through at this time. So yeah, so with him, I've always taught him anything that's worth having in life takes real dedication and hard work, or it's not worth having. Um, and I've always structured him big time on college, relationships, the way to treat women, the way to be a friend, the way to be a brother. I always have. With my older boys, I wish I could have done a better job there, but I can also say that most of them are on a good track. Um, I still think a few of them are still waiting for that golden opportunity to fall in their lap, but I try to just teach them exactly what I've had to learn on my own, right? Is without hard work and dedication, nothing pays off. You have to be
Absolutely.
honest with yourself, first of all. You have to have integrity, right?
Yes.
Um, you have to work hard. You have to be happy. You have to love yourself, as we've discussed before in the podcast, right? You've got to love the man that you're looking at in the mirror. If you
Absolutely.
love that man, then you're going to work hard to be a strong man.
Absolutely.
If you
Hey,
work hard to be a strong man, then you're going to work in good, positive directions.
all right. Can you see the comments or just me?
I cannot see them.
Oh man, I got to still do all the reading. All right. Anyway, so
No
what's up,
idea.
Cliff? What's up, Joel?
What's going on, guys?
What else we got in here? Start to life. And those are all. Oh, we got two Cliff shufflers. I love the support, you guys. I love it. Thank you. Thank you very much. What was I gonna say? Oh, so with the oak values,
Yep.
there's I call it the oak frame, I guess you can call it, and it's
Yep.
how it's a cross between how values build your life and the oak tree, and that's like my tattoo and the
Yep.
logo on the box.
Yep.
Um,
Hmm.
you can't see it.
No.
There it is. Maybe
There you go. Or the oak
there you
tree.
go. Look at that. Anyway, so Oak to value your values will grow slow, just like the roots of an oak tree. They're slow and they're deep. Um, and the roots obviously grow in the oak tree long before the leaves and the branches grow, just like your roots, your values will grow long before your results will show.
Right.
Um, and storms will always test oak trees.
Yeah.
That's why, and that's part of like the men's group. Oak trees have shallow roots, but they grow together. So there's a bunch of them, and they hold each other up in a storm.
Yeah.
Just like us as men, we hold each other up in every storm, and that is part of being a man and being part of obviously this men's group. But men need to hold men up. We should never let another brother fall down.
Never.
So
Never agreed.
that's the oak frame, and that's part of the oak values that I've always talked about.
Yep.
And on that note, I want to thank everybody in here pretty much. This has been a difficult week for me with my mother became ill. She finally got home today with my dad, but I had a rough week, and you and Rob and Cliff and Joel and all you guys were there supporting me and understanding me, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. And that's what a brotherhood is about. So thank you very much, you guys.
Absolutely.
So as far as building something next week, we got something here. So AJ, you think your boys would be quick to live life as intended, or you are doing right now, seeing what you went through? I don't understand this question. Do you think your boys would be quick to live the life as intended,
Yeah.
or you're doing right now, or what you're doing right now, seeing what you went through? Do you think they are still going to learn as they go? So are they going to follow you, or are they going to learn as they go? I think what we're getting at here.
So all right, to be a conflicted response to that question. So I believe that unfortunately, we've talked about this many times, right? If we could
Mhm.
only go back and teach our younger self what we knew now, imagine how different life would be, right? But unfortunately, I think with most young men, most of the time, they have to fall and stumble on their own. However, I'd also like to believe that with everything my boys have watched me go through, um, just with how easily your life can kind of be destroyed by an accident, and it can tear a hole in the fabric of your entire existence. Um, I'd like to think that they saw those things that I did do wrong, and learn from those. I really would like to think that they will definitely learn from the mistakes that I've made along the way. I definitely like to think, I do know that my boys are, for the most part, most of them are very strong rooted when it comes to relationships. And I think I have definitely taught them the importance of that. So I think so far as that, yeah, I think that they will learn from a lot of those mistakes. But in other areas, I think I'll always stick to my guns of believing that young men, unfortunately, no matter how much you teach them, they always have to fall off that horse on their own
Mhm.
and get back up, no
I,
matter
I
how hard you try to teach them.
I agree with you, but you don't want to teach them too hard because so Joel says, I think that's kind of how life works.
Yeah,
You got to learn as you go, even with past experiences, etc. They're
yeah,
showing you what the past is showing you, what people are showing you. Like my dad
right,
taught me many of things,
right.
but as a man or a boy, who I think most men are naturally curious growing up,
Mm.
so they might tell you the stove is hot, but we should probably check
Yep.
that out, find out for ourselves, and get burned.
Yeah.
That like I love the wet paint. how many, even as an adult, I see a sign of wet paint. I'm like, is it really? So, but yeah, so you
Yeah,
can be taught all the things in the world, but I think we still have to test those boundaries
yeah,
and learn for ourselves. But that background that you received as a young man, that always helps you get through it.
yeah,
You're like, oh, my dad was right. This stove is
yeah.
hot and it does
Right.
burn.
And that's
So,
that's where I think it falls in, and that's why it's conflicted, right? Because I'd like to think that they're not going to have to fall off that horse over and over and over again, like I did. I didn't have enough of those lessons to not keep stepping on my own toes. So I'd like to think that, especially with how traumatic this whole experience has been, um, once they do touch that hot stove,
mhm.
they'll realize, all right, we should listen to dad and we should follow in that. I
Oh,
do.
and there's always just the special people. I mean, I think I probably touched it twice, probably maybe even more. I'm not sure. But that is also part of
Yeah,
what you
it's
build
grown
as a
up.
man.
It's
You're
experience.
yes, and but as you discover your values, as you get on this growth path, you are always building something, and that's
Yeah,
are you building your character or are you just coping? Are
yeah.
you building trust? Are you building distance,
Or you standing
stability, or
still,
chaos? Yeah, or are you
right?
standing still? Are you not learning? Are you so afraid of that hot stove? Are you so afraid of that wet paint that you're not going to grow? You're just going to
Yeah,
stand there.
yeah,
And just like I said, boys and men are naturally curious, and
yeah,
you don't want to stop that. Curiosity is good. Yeah, you don't want to see
yeah,
your kid get burned
yeah.
or hurt or anything, but
No,
that's just part of how boys become men. They are curious. They
it's
want to figure things out like that. So
it's just for some reason it's just marked in young men's DNA.
yeah, yep,
But
absolutely.
yeah,
So
yeah,
and I think that a lot of men, they lose their roots when they and I discussed this a little bit last week, when they chase outcomes instead of alignment.
yeah,
Um,
right, right.
and
Well,
it,
most young men, they all want that amazing job, right? They all want to start out at the top.
of
I
course they do.
made the mistake. I put my oldest son, right?
Mhm.
I put him into the union. I put him into my company, at the top, right?
Mhm.
He got to start at the top. That was what should be every young man's dream, to be 19 years old and to be making $37 an hour to start, right?
Absolutely. I would love that.
He fell on his face real fast, real fast.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, you can't skip those steps, right? And that's where I really incorporate the old values into my life, right? You
Explain.
really you have to find your values. You
Mhm.
have to find how to be grounded in life. If you skip learning the lessons and finding your values and finding your boundaries in life, then you're just trying to plant your feet on the ground with no roots, right? It's like putting the tree, it's
Yeah.
like cutting down a tree and trying to place it in a new area of the yard and just thinking you can walk away and it's going to root itself and everything's going to be all right. No, the tree's going to fall over. That's what it comes down to, right? You
Absolutely.
need to have values. You need to have good, good boundaries in life to protect yourself and good morals. If you don't have them, then it just doesn't work. You will fall. And that's
Yes.
where I love the old values so much,
Awesome.
so much.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. When you said that with the whole cutting the tree down, I remember the story. My daughter came home. She was much younger, a few years ago, with a pile of grass clippings, and she put it into a cup full of dirt because she wanted to grow grass.
Oh,
And at
yeah.
first, I was like, "That's not. Just put it in the window. We'll see what happens." But yeah, it's the same thing though. If you just cut it down and stick it somewhere new, it's
Yeah,
not going to grow. It needs those
yeah,
roots,
yeah,
those
it's gotta
values,
happen.
those boundaries to flourish.
Yep,
So, um,
100%.
but I was saying that a lot of men, we confuse motion with progress, and I am 100% guilty of many times in the past where I would just be turning and burning my wheels, burning the candle at both ends. And to me, it felt like I was getting a lot of stuff done, but really I was just running in place. There was no real progress.
Yeah.
So, um, and I think along with this work that it has taken, I have learned to be, uh, what do you call
And you're grounded.
it? Grounded,
Right?
intentional. I was trying to think of the word,
You're rooted.
and less reactive. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so with your values, what values stood out the most to you from that deck?
In the beginning, so like I said, in the beginning, my accountability was like my big thing.
Mhm.
But then my next place went to calmness, and then happiness. Calmness, I could not. So, first of all, remember, I wasn't just in emotional pain like a lot of men are, most men are. They hit these areas. I was in physical pain too.
Mhm.
And I was in physical pain that doctors couldn't even seem to manage. So, the only calmness was the empty bottle of a Jack Daniels bottle. There was no me finding an irregularity or just feeling at peace, right? Being able to be at peace in silence. And that was a hard one for me, to be all alone in a big house and in pain, and my heart's broken and I'm torn apart. Where was I going to Hey, where was I gonna find my calmness? Come here. Come here. Daisy wants to join in. Where was I gonna find that calmness? And that took a bit.
Hmm.
That did. But that was really important to me. I needed to find calmness. And then once I figured that out, I needed to find the happiness, right? In the calmness.
Okay.
Now I'm calm. Now I need to find happiness. I need to find happiness no matter how much pain I'm in, no matter how broken my heart feels, right? And then once I finally got to those points, that's obviously when things started to shift, right?
Mhm.
Now I can find happiness being by myself. I got to a place where I accepted that, I destroyed my marriage. I have ruined relationships with my boys, and now it's time to repair. It's time to rebuild,
Right.
right? But also remember the tools that I always had in the shed. So I kind of needed to find my way uh, back into myself to remember that I was a strong man and I did have good values. I just lost sight of a lot of them, which I think most of us do. When our hearts are broken, especially as men, we're meant to be logical beings, not emotional beings. So, but personally, I think we're a lot more emotional than women when it comes down to that aspect of things when it comes to divorce and heartache like that. I think we break on an emotional level that supersedes women. Women seem to brush it off, or maybe they're just really good at hiding it, but they brush it off. We break and fall to pieces, right? So I needed to discover myself and push myself back into the faith that I was a good man. I'm a strong man. I can be an independent man. I am an independent man. I am a good father. I was a good husband. There were points I wasn't. There were points I wasn't a good man, a good friend, a good father, but there
Okay.
was plenty that I was. So it was rediscovering myself in faith. And that also brought my faith closer to God as well. Right?
Mhm. So,
My
in
Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish up.
I was gonna say my communication with God helped me a lot there. It really did. Between our Thursday night groups and being able to talk to a group of men that I could actually talk to that related to me, I got to talk to God.
Mhm.
And that really helped me really plant my feet again.
Okay. So with the accountability and the calmness, was there any, since you were trying to hone in on these values, was there any time that you were tested? Like, when was there any time where you were not
Oh
accountable
yeah.
after you
Oh
said, I
yeah.
am going to be accountable,
Oh
or
yeah.
you
Yeah,
could
for
not
sure.
stay calm? You want to
Yeah.
share any of that or no?
Yeah, sure. So,
Real quick, David, that
that's my
says,
dad.
very good. What's up, Dad? You have gone through a lot and you will move on to better things. He's a pretty good guy right now. I don't
Thanks,
know.
Dad. And thanks, Gary.
Yep. Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Better things are
Yeah.
always ahead of all of us if we want
I
them.
um I had taken a 3-day vacation
Hmm.
the weekend before my divorce.
Hmm.
Um wasn't sure why I was doing it. Um I'm pretty sure why she was doing it. She didn't want to get divorced. At that point, she wanted me to wait.
Yeah.
Um, so we went, and a conversation had started, and I it was like I was blindsided. The accountability was just gone. I was just like, it was blame, blame, blame. And I don't know, it might have lasted 20 minutes. 20 minutes too long before my brain turned back on, and I was kicking myself like this was just wrong. Everything I've worked for, I just threw out the window. Right. And that just threw my integrity out the window too, because here I am standing by this value and standing by this hard work, and I just threw it away because something was said that hurt my itty bitty feelings in that sad moment.
Can't let
Yeah.
your feelings get in the way.
Yeah. So, and that was something to learn right there, right? No matter what the situation is, no matter what it is that's said to me,
Hmm.
no matter how bad it can be, I never it's never okay for me to put down those values,
Okay.
right? I learned those values, worked through those values, worked to live by those values. There should never be a time or a place where they get put down. Your integrity should never be put back down, and definitely not your accountability.
Okay.
Not there. I
I
shouldn't have
agree.
done it. I had accepted my accountability in those areas. I shouldn't have let it down. That, I think, was the worst of it, the worst
Okay.
test
And
for that time.
going through this with the values that I discovered and the values that I live by, there were so many tests. Before I get into them, though, I want to talk about Thursday night's men's group, uh,
Yeah.
Motivated Men, and it's on. You can get access through northmancoaching.com, resources, upcoming events. But I'm saying that because this week, the question that this week coming up, I don't know what day that is. The question is going to be: listen to the song Bruce Springsteen. It's called Secret Garden. And the question is, what is hidden in the garden? Or what is the garden and what's hidden in it? And why do men have a hard time getting that? So take the time out of your life. It's about 2.5 minutes. Listen to that song and join us on Thursday to discuss what the secret garden is and what might or might not be in it. Um, yeah, throwing that out there.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Anybody out there, anybody, no matter what you're struggling with, not to cut you off, Gary, but if you're struggling with divorce, if you're having a difficult time as a father, you're a new father, you've been a father for 20 years, it doesn't matter. You're having difficulties in a relationship, you're just having difficulties in life as a man. There is not a better place than you could possibly be than
yeah,
in our Thursday night men's group. There really isn't.
I appreciate you saying that. And just, even for men that just, it's so hard for men to reach out and talk about stuff.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why, actually Rob is the one that created this group. But that's one thing about this group that I love is there's no judgment. You can come and say the craziest thing in the world, and every single man in that group will just listen to you. They'll challenge you, but they will not judge you.
Right.
So they will challenge you to
100%.
think differently. So it's almost like it's like free coaching pretty much. You can get a bunch of ideas and run with them, or you can just sit there, say nothing, listen to it all, do what you will. And a
Yeah.
lot of guys, they come in and they don't say anything. They just listen. And
Yeah.
that's what it takes in the beginning sometimes
Yeah.
to build that trust, to warm up, to open up and speak what's on your mind. But anybody has a problem or that doesn't have a group of people that they can talk to, this is the place to go. So it's Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, and that's on northmancoaching.com under resources and upcoming events. So check that out. So with my values, when I started uh, discovering them, I'm not going to go through the whole
Yeah.
story because you can read all the backstory on the website, but they are constantly changing. And this year, um, uh, one of the biggest values that I uh, embraced and run with now is faith, spirituality, whatever you want to call it. I found God on a mountaintop in Idaho, and let me tell you, the he tested me to no end this week, and I believe that's all it was. It was a test of my faith, test of my strength, and you know what? I aced that test, and I will
Amen.
continue to ace those tests. But with all values that I've taken, my biggest one is authenticity. And I've told you guys my backstory a bunch of times, and I strive to be the most honest version of myself at all times. And I will stand by my word. And I've been tested before with that, with between old friends from back in the day, or the ex-wife, or even my daughter challenging me on things I say. Um,
Yeah.
but I stand by the things that I say. So when you adopt values, embrace them, and make them your own, you will be challenged. And it's so important that you accept that challenge. You don't back down. You stand behind the man that you are going to become. Um,
Something we should talk about in the future.
what's that?
So many men in today's world have a hard time standing by what they say, whether it's because of procrastination, or they're too busy with work, or they're just no good with balance, whatever it is.
Hmm.
So many men have a hard time with staying that course. And when you don't, you end up letting your children down.
So
You
why do
let
you think
your
men have that problem staying on the course?
I think men are really bad with balance most of all. I think that we have a very difficult time with balance because I think that because we know somewhere in our hearts and souls that we're meant to be providers and protectors, that we get caught up in the everyday bustle of going to work and making money. Every
Mhm.
opportunity we have to make more money and get that little bit extra overtime in, we just keep going. And we don't realize how important it is to be at home just as much. Our children and our wives, at the end of the day, I've been told so many times that my family would rather have me to do things with than to have me at work all the time so that I can buy them nice things and stuff like that. But then you have the other side of things, right? When I am home and it's the weekend, well, I'm tired.
Mhm.
Oh, all right, sure, okay, buddy, we'll do that, but can we do it later on? Or can we do it tomorrow? It's so important not to do those things. You need to stand by what you say always,
Absolutely. So on that
always.
line with balance and stand by what you say, like I feel like I personally see a lot of men who struggle with your number one value, which was accountability.
Accountability, yeah.
And they'll say things like, "Oh, I can't do this because of this. I can't do
Yeah.
that because of that. I couldn't get to work because the car wouldn't start, or I can't lose weight because that cheeseburger looks too yummy."
Yeah.
Even he was on here earlier. Cliff used to talk about he's a motivational life coach. He does fitness and stuff, and he was talking about a client that he had. who wanted to lose weight or get in shape, and the
Yeah.
first question that he asked was, "When is my cheat day?" And I love that story because that's
That's great.
so many people who, I want to, do this, and that, but which day do I get to take a rest on?
Yeah.
So,
Which step can I skip?
yeah, which step can I skip?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that along with that balance, a lot of men before this work find reasons, myself included. I found tons of reasons why I wasn't going to do what I was
Yeah.
going to do,
Yeah.
and I could easily lay those on you, my daughter,
Yeah.
life. But when you take that accountability,
Right.
everything you do, even things that you might screw up right now that involve me, I can take a portion of that accountability because I'm associating with you.
Right.
So, and it's important that everybody looks into what their portion of everything is, whether it's wrongdoing or right doing. What was
Yeah.
your portion in that? And take
Yeah.
responsibility and accountability. So,
Yeah. It's something that I think a lot of men could really benefit from understanding the importance of not skipping those steps, and be a great thing to touch back on. It
yeah,
really would.
and I think we should. So
Yeah.
Sort of Life says that, I think that's Dennis. He said that a man that is exhausted will struggle to be present with his family. And that is very true. In
100%.
today at church, the pastor was talking about how it is the man's job to lead the family spiritually,
Yep.
uh, but really in general, it's. I mean, with the help of your wife or the mother of your kids, it's important to guide them, but it is the man's job to lead that household,
Yep.
um, and teach
Yeah.
the way that you want things done. And
Yep.
if you do it right, which you never know until it's too late, you will have it done, or you will be right. And I think my parents did an incredible job with me, and they probably had no clue until I don't know when.
Yep.
So, and your
Yep.
old man said that, just so back here, I missed it. Said that AJ and him have come to the point where everything can be said without judgment. So I have a feeling that your dad can look back and say that he's done well.
Yeah.
Um, I would
Yeah.
call you a success.
He's a great father.
So
He is. He's a great
excellent.
dad.
And with the values, like when you adapt these values and take them on as your own, and this was one of the hardest things for me when I did this, was I had all these values. I had 10, 15 of them, and I tried to make like acronyms to remember what my values were instead of just living them until I got down to three of them that really meant the most to me.
Yeah.
But values are like diamonds. They do not grow overnight. They grow in the dark, under
Yeah.
pressure. When you are called to be the man that you meant to be, you are supposed to be, that's when your values
Right.
and the
That's
stuff
when
that
you
you believe in
test it.
practice will show up. Yes,
Yeah.
being tested.
That's when you
So
really feel that test.
if you're new to this whole thing or just tuning in and you see that, I want to learn my values, I want to figure out what I stand for. If you figure that out tonight, or you think you figured it out tonight, you will not see those results or feel anything different tomorrow. Probably not even the day after that. So,
No. You got to plant those roots.
yes.
Yep.
So, and remember, this work is quiet but powerful. You want to stay humble. Do the work, find those values, set those boundaries without what's the word without bragging or saying, "Hey, look at me, I'm learning to be a better man." Just be the better man and show up the way that you want to show up.
You can't look for praise.
Well, you
Men are
can,
not
but
men are
that's
men are not supposed to be out looking for praise at
right.
all. That's our job, is to praise our children and to praise the people that we're teaching.
Right.
We're not supposed to be doing things because we want somebody to say that a boy or good job. That's not a man. A
Right.
man does things because it's important to him, and it's rooted deep inside of them at this point.
Yes. And chasing those attaboys, that's chasing outcomes,
Yeah.
not working with alignment.
Yeah.
So, um, trying to think of where I was going with that. Hmm. So okay, so I got three questions for the whoever's listening, and then we're gonna start to wrap it up. I think. So actually, you can answer them too if you want, AJ. So what values do you compromise when life gets uncomfortable? And anybody in that group can answer that. Is there a value that you compromise or used to compromise when life gets uncomfortable?
I'd say patience. I'd say patience would be the only value um, that I think I'd really compromise. Um, and that really bothered me. It really bothered me that I would lose my patience when times seemed tough, or something was difficult, or financial concerns, any of the which. Um, I'd realize my patience, right? It's always a telltale sign with me. I don't know where it comes from. Maybe it's you, Dad. But my face would be bright red, and the patience is just gone, right? And I've had to work so hard to balance myself in those areas, um, because it's definitely losing your patience is something that anyone that's around sees,
Hmm,
and they take that with them. They do. They
absolutely.
take it with them. However it is that you act, they take that with them. And if they're people that don't know you or have just met you, they've just now judged you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They judge you off. Yeah.
A lot of people judge without even knowing the judge.
Yeah.
You put
Yeah.
any kind of label on something, you're judging it.
Yeah.
But so sort of life said that. What was the question? Was what do you?
What morals might you what morals might you compromise
Yeah,
with?
what values do you compromise? And he said doing the right thing when no one is around, and that is integrity. And that's a
Right.
hard one. I remember when the coach that I had hired when I was going through a lot of this stuff. He said the smallest thing. He said when you go to the grocery store next time, return the shopping cart to where it goes, even
Mhm.
if it's midnight and there's nobody around, even if
Yep.
it's snowing or raining and you don't want to get
Yep.
wet, put that cart back and don't ask for praise. Don't say, "Hey, look what I just did." Just do it.
Yeah. Yep.
And I started doing that, and I do it all the time now. And I mean, I strive. I don't even strive; it just comes naturally to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking for an attaboy. I'm not looking for anybody to see me. In fact, if there's nobody around, I still do the right thing.
I like that.
So,
I like that a lot.
so where do
So how about
you?
you?
What's that?
How about you? Are
Well, what do
there
I?
any values you
But
feel you
compromise. So
compromise?
I think in the beginning of this work, it was my authenticity. When I was challenged by my
Mhm.
ex-wife, I would cave
Yeah.
um, and tell some kind of story or something. But I don't think man, I'm gonna tell you, I don't compromise my values at all
Yeah.
nowadays. But I did.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No, you definitely don't know, which is great. It's what makes you you,
yes,
because you stand still grounded in everything you do. It's an amazing thing.
and that's how you build the trust. You have to, if you're not grounded and you stand the way that you want to stand, then how can people trust you?
Exactly.
So,
I can't.
where do you stop reacting and start responding from your values? Have you noticed that at all?
Where do I stop
Where do you
reacting and
stop
what?
reacting? Stop reacting and start responding.
Um, Anytime I realize something's controversial, um, or has struck a nerve
Hmm.
in any such way, I make sure that I don't react. Um, I make sure, for the most part, I don't even respond in those moments. I need to make sure that I take a breath, because if I'm going to react, then it's negative, right? That's not a positive thing. Reaction, and those areas is not. It's not going to be a positive outcome. So what I try to do is just to take a deep breath, depending on the situation. Hopefully I can take a deep breath. I can breathe, process it quickly, and then just try to discuss whatever the situation is, and communicate about it effectively. um, if I can't, if it's something that's big time, then I take the 24 hours. I take that 24 hours, like we've talked about before. Take the 24 hours. If it's still holding on tomorrow, if it's still there, well, then I need to deal with it. But if it's not bothering me in 24 hours, then it didn't matter that much, did it?
Gotcha. I tell you guys 24 hours, 24/7, 24 hours. You wake up tomorrow and it still bother you, and you need to bring it up.
Yep.
But in 7 days from now, if you haven't brought it up, then clearly it's not something that's worth bringing up. And I would say absolutely do not bring it up
Yeah.
7 days later because you're looking for trouble.
No.
So that's all we got for today, really. I want to remind everybody that the ebook, the first 30 days, is on the website, but the class is sold out. I've capped it at 25. So sign up or get the book. Sign up for the waiting list. I will have another class coming up, and join us on Thursdays for the Motivated Men's Group. It's on
Absolutely.
northmancoaching.com under resources and events. And I think that's all I got. So yeah. So tune in. Oh, so yeah. So next week we're gonna have, it'll be the most likely the last episode of the year, which is Begin Again, and it's a new year, a deeper you, and it's a message on how to close the year, return to center, and rise again. And that will leave us with one Sunday before 2026, but I will be traveling that day, so
It'd be a great way to end the year.
there might be something special going on that day. Not sure what I'm doing, but it might just be me traveling home. So that's it. So yeah, I think that's all I got. So check us out next week, 7 p.m. Same bad time, same bad channel, wherever you guys are, YouTube, Facebook. And I'm going to try to figure out that TikTok thing and get it on here. And that's it. So have a good night, guys.
Hey, guys, have a good night.
See you next week. Thank you, AJ. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.